Good morning, Horses Know the Way Home fans. I'm here to give you a quick pieces of the puzzle of what's happening with Brenda and what's going on with her recovery from her issues, but also what's going on with all of the other areas of her body that she's happy with. So, but to satisfy your curiosity, I'm going to give you all the pieces. Brenda had a little limping on her right hind leg. She had the big feathers. All we knew is every once in a while it felt like she was stepping on a stone when we go for a walk, or if I was riding her, if I was walking with her, there'd be a little stumbling every once in a while. And as she would warm up, 15-20 minutes into a walk or a run, it would go away. But it became more significant, and then we noticed that she was always resting the right hind leg all the time. So then it got to the point where we would go for a run, and in the first 5 minutes it would be a little hopping. So we called Dr. Jeremy Murdoch from Ocean State Equine here in Rhode Island, and he came out, checked everything, manipulated the legs, and he was afraid of shaving the feathers. He shaved a little square in the feathers, and right in her stall he did an x-ray and an ultrasound and found that indeed in the right hind there was some swelling and there was some lacy stuff floating around, which is the inside of the synovial membrane. Now, that can happen anytime a synovial membrane gets inflamed, but we're not sure if that was causing the problem, or that was the result of the inflammation, or the inflammation was causing something else. It became a little puzzle. So he didn't want to put any painkiller. He didn't want to give her any Legend, which is hyaluronic acid that can help bring moisture into the synovial membrane and get the healing process going. So he recommended we go to Tufts. So Dr. Kirkahead was going to receive us. We went to Tufts, and the day before they did x-rays on both hind legs and ultrasounds, complete ultrasounds on both hind legs where they shaved the legs. That's why the feathers are shaved. What we found was inflammation, surprise, surprise. However, the left hind, which showed no lameness whatsoever and no swelling whatsoever, had arthritic buildup worse than the right leg. So the puzzle was the arthritic buildup, is it actually causing an inhibition in movement? Is it causing any pain? Or is it just arthritic buildup that's been there forever, if not forever, for a long time? And there's actually bone chips showing up on the right hind, but they were so encased it could have been something happened a long time ago and it's never had any problem. So Dr. Carl Kirkahead came, looked at the x-rays, looked at the sonogram, and did some tests running her up and down the hallway at Tufts, and he noticed she was lame on the front right, which I said, no, she's not. He goes, well, he's noticing a hopping. So we had shoes put on earlier, and we were afraid that the farrier maybe quicked a nail or close quicked a nail, meaning get that nail too close to her quick, and there's some pain or inflammation, even a hot nail where it may have gotten some blood on it. So we weren't sure about that. So he did a nerve block to take away the hoof as an issue, and he said the lameness was on a scale of 1 to 5 was a 3.5. He said when he blocked the front hoof, he got that scale to go down maybe to a 2. But he went further up and he blocked the fetlock pastern area in her front right, and he said all the lameness left. She just trotted right out. So he was more concerned with the front right, or more curious about what was going on in the front right. And he was also suspect whether the front right, even though it was showing no signs, was causing Brenda to shift her weight onto her right hind, which is causing the inflammation. Bottom line is, we don't know. The more you look into this, the more pieces of the puzzle you get, and the bigger the puzzle gets, and the more complicated it gets. So the bottom line is, Dr. Carl Kirk, I said, I don't want to do surgery. He said, take her home, rest her, give a little bit of bute to reduce the inflammation for the first 5 days, and then exercise her for 10 minutes, just nice walking, then 20 minutes, then get her up to 40 minutes of exercise, some walking and trotting, and exacerbate the inflammation so that we can then go and have a bone scan. And in looking at the bone scan, we can tell whether the arthritic buildup is actually causing inflammation, or the arthritic buildup just has to be something that's there that's really not a factor. and find out what else is going on. Last week, when we were getting the recovery going on, of course, it was 100 degrees here and 90% humidity, and it was just brutal. The weather was oppressive. And I came down one day, and my heart sunk because Brenda's ears were down, her bottom lip was down, and her spirit was as low as I've ever seen it. So I started panicking and calling up everybody. I'm calling up Reiki people to do energy work. I'm calling up chiropractor to do chiropractor, essential oils, crystals, you name it, something with Brenda's energy. And because of the heat, all we could do was just sit there. As soon as the heat cleared, and her and I started hanging out like we used to, 45 minutes to an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours a day. And then I had a series of coaching sessions over the weekend in which Brenda and I, intermittent with the coaching sessions, were together for 10 hours a day. She got fantastically better. Fantastically better. And then it just dawned on me. I keep looking for the outside answers. We're going to continue to do that, by the way. Traditional medicine, non-traditional medicine, alternative health care. But we've decided, along with Lucy, to go back to old-fashioned TLC. Total Lucy care. Because this is what we used to do. Lucy would hop up and we'd go jogging. Or Lucy would run with us. So we brought Lucy, and now we're jogging twice a day. We're going to be walking in the forest as soon as the bugs leave us. Oh, come on, Lucy. Oh, oh. So total Lucy care is what we're going to be giving Brenda, or tender loving care, which we have been doing. But with my schedule and the heat, and my concern for her feet and washing her feet and checking her hooves and putting the boots on and taking the boots off because we've taken the shoes off the front legs, there's been a lot of medical care, a lot of health care. And in all that health care, the uninterrupted, just TLC, just hanging out for the sake of hanging out, became less, except for the last 4 or 5 days. And that had the biggest impact. So I'm here just to deliver that message that I'm going with, leading with, TLC drives the healing, TLC drives the healthing. So her natural health, we can let that in. That we're not focusing on her sickness and just these 2 feet, because these 2 feet does not make up Brenda. This whole body does not make up Brenda. Brenda's spirit, Brenda's emotions, Brenda's psyche, and the whole rest of Brenda's body that's radiating health. I want to make sure we focus on that and give that all it needs, rather than giving the 2 suspected areas a lot of attention. So I want to make sure that I don't focus so much on the illness and what's wrong with Brenda, that I don't give loving attention to all the things I love about Brenda, and let all of that, the rest of the other 90% of her body, heal the 10% that we're not sure about. So till then, we are switching the prognosis or the plan. And the plan is going to be TLC for the 90% of her body that has no issues whatsoever. And then just some basic care, Brenda. Some basic care for the rest of her body that she's most familiar with, so that I can let the intelligence of Brenda heal what's happening. Heal. I'm going to get it. Heal. Heal what's happening. Heal. So what we're going to be doing is walking, grazing, trotting in the morning. Walking, grazing, trotting at night. But not walking, grazing, trotting thinking I'm healing those legs. Walking, grazing, trotting because it's fun. I love it. She loves it. It's enjoyable. Lucy's running with us. And that environment is what I want to put, that context of doing it because it's what I love, it's what she loves, and let that be the be-all and end-all of why we're doing that. Oh, and we happen to be doing it just to help Dr. Kirkehead get a better picture to support the healing process. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Brenda has a problem with her fetlock joint, and Brenda might have a problem over here. But that doesn't make up Brenda. I want to make sure I use all of Brenda's infinite natural intelligence, the healing intelligence that's in her whole body, and make sure I get that radiating on full 5 bars. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's running at 10. So that can heal that. And this can help Dr. Kirkahead, Dr. Jeremy Murdoch, Brian, Kathleen, and everybody from Horse and All the Way Home fans who is giving us phenomenal advice. Keep it coming. We're loving it. We're implementing it. We're utilizing everything you're saying. Thank you so much for all you're giving us. I want to make sure as it's coming in that I'm taking in either, oh, poor Brenda, and I'm turning it into rich Brenda. Rich, wealthy, generous, beneficial, beautiful Brenda. And Lucy, right, Lucy? Come on, Lucy. Come on, sweetie. Come on, you can do it. Oh, a little closer. Oh. So, Lucy, you have anything to say? Total loving Lucy care. TLLC is what we're going to be giving her. Lucy says, I have one eye. That doesn't matter. Right? I'm not just one eye. So thank you very much. I hope this helps piece the puzzle together. On August 12th or thereabouts, we're going to be bringing Brenda to Tufts for a bone scan. And she's going to be giving a clinic on the 25th, and we're going to be going swimming with her to get some of her natural, loving energy up to speed. Thank you.